So, I'm sure we've all heard of the classic stories of big, strong man fighting monsters and then killing those monsters. It's far from a foreign concept, to say the least, with many, many, many different tellings of the same archetype. But I'm not here to criticize the story or how you should interpret the story, as that's a whole nother can of worms with discussion waiting to be opened. No, I'm here to tell you the story of Beowulf, in the way that I can remember it, for your, or not, entertainment. Before I get started, I want to give a brief history of the story. Beowulf is an epic poem along with the likes of the Odyssey, which you probably also read in your high school English class. Let's be honest. The story is disputed to be first written in 700, 1000 AD, according to Wikipedia. Now, hold on, teachers. I know Wikipedia is a very sensitive word to you guys. Okay, let's put the pitchforks down. Let's settle down a bit, you know. There's no need to get a little antsy in your pantsy, you know. Here, look, here's a McGraw-Hill book, your guys' favorite. Just don't look inside. I haven't done anything in there yet, but with that out of the way, the poem of Beowulf has had a lot of questionable adaptations, to say the least.
And lust and power! I am Beowulf!
Like, if I'm being honest, could probably have like their own coverage on them if anyone really wanted to do that. The first adaptation that adaptations of the story of Grendel and Beowulf, with all of them having similar success or failure. Now, with that out of the way, let's start at the beginning, and just a little reminder that this will be what I consider the first half, which is just the Grendel fight, as I'm on a bit of a crunch, and I still need to edit everything together. The story starts with King Hrothgar, I think that's its name. Please don't put me on a cross and burn me for not knowing how to say his name correctly, please. And his people having a grand old time partying. They're getting drunk, gambling, all the sorts, you know. Eventually, they all get partied out and end up falling asleep in what's called a mead hall. You don't really need to know what that is. It's basically just a place where people get together to feast. So everyone's asleep, all tuckered out from drinking and eating, and then they have no clue what else is in the mead hall. In the corner is the monster, Grendel. He's just sitting there in the corner like he's Freddy Fazbear when the power goes out, and he just starts eating and ripping everyone apart.
Yet. You feel your body starting to rip. First your muscles tear, then your vertebrae they separate. If you're able to focus through the pain, it's your skin next, pulled to its breaking point.
But can you really blame him? He had to sit there all day watching people eat and gamble, and he couldn't get a bite. Shameful. Jeez. Anyways, the king hears this, and he's like, I'm quite in a pickle here. I don't want my people to keep dying to that monster, but we're also too weak to kill the wretched beast. Eventually, word gets out of Grendel murdering everyone in the mead hall, and this is when we meet Beowulf. So, a little context. The land we're currently talking about, where Grendel is terrorizing everyone and the mead hall, this is the home of the Dates, who Hrothgar, the king, rules over. Meanwhile, Beowulf is from a land that houses his race of people called the Geats. Just add some little more context. So Beowulf hears this, and he's like, huh, That's interesting. I want to go fight the Seaman creature thing. And travels to the land of the dates. He then meets the king, and he's all like, hey, I want to fight and slay this monster. Can you please let me? And the king is on the fence at first. Then his kinda right-hand man, I guess you could say, Unfurrow, is like, hey, didn't you lose that one race? I'm not sure you'd be a good pick for this. You literally killed your own brother. After that, the king eventually agrees to this, and Beowulf, with his men, goes to the mead hall, which is more desolate than an Arby's during rush hour. They go in, and it's still daytime, so you know what that means. Day drinking and gambling. Oh, gambling. Right after they've done acting like your average billionaire without the crack smoking, they decide to hit the hay for the night. While they're all asleep, Grendel's back in the corner, acting like Freddy again. He's probably mad because he couldn't gamble or eat again. Or maybe he wanted to smoke crack and there wasn't any crack, who knows.
Peter, what are you doing? Crack? What the f-
And once he knows that they're all asleep, he knows it's time to just demolish everything. He ends up killing some guy, and then Beowulf hears this, and he's like, oh no, I am not letting this slide. And then wakes up, not naked this time, and starts fighting Grendel. Since Beowulf is probably thinking, I'll get to brag to everyone about this, but I should still make this cooler anyways. So he decides to leave his weapons and just starts wrestling Grendel like he's the Undertaker. Now, Grendel sees this and it is scared to death. He's probably thinking, oh man, I'm not gonna get locked right now. And tries to fight back. Beowulf is like crawling all over him like he's Spider-Man until he gets tired. He's probably just had enough. He's like, alright, it's still pretty late. I want to go to bed. And he just starts trying to rip Grendel's arm off with his bare hands, keep in mind. Grendel right now, he's trying his hardest not to lose his arm. Rightfully so, I don't think anyone wanted to lose their arm. But Beowulf is just sitting there like, nuh-uh, and just fully rips that off. Now Grendel is just standing there in immense pain and just darts out of the mead hall, never to be seen again. Now Beowulf and his men celebrate Grendel's defeat with, you know, you get it at this point. After the celebration, the king thanks Beowulf for Grendel's defeat and gives him the Hollywood treatment without the crack. So, money, women, and fame. Now, I don't really want to start any discussion about women being a reward because that's its own can of worms. Refer back to what I said at the beginning. So, that's how our beautiful first act of Beowulf ends. Just like your normal epic poem. Nothing, I wouldn't say nothing out of the ordinary, but it is something you would see ordinarily in an epic poem. Your big, strong hero fights off your big, strong monster that no one really has the strength to beat. And you know, you can't really criticize these things. These stories were written ages ago. I'm not here to be your modern journalist about these movies that just has no joy or whimsy when it comes to like kids movies or kids games and stuff like that. But yeah, this was my first time making something like this, and it seems like a very interesting journey. I've made videos and edited them in the past, but that was for my own pleasure. And I don't know, I just thought this would be really interesting to do my little own voiceover with some footage in the back that was just fun. Also, I'm imagining this as like a little credits that you see like storytime animators have with fan art, but without the fan art because I don't have fan art. I mean, technically I do, but I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, I thought this would just be fun, and I'll see you guys later.